The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 19th day of April, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Linda's. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sencha Dorm, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sench, it's Tuesday. Welcome.
Good morning.
How was your
It
long weekend?
was good. I took some time to myself. I did some family stuff. It was good. It was
Okay.
good.
Did
You know, quiet.
Did you do any of the eating of the fish cakes and hot cross buns?
Listen, I've never ate so many fish cakes and hot cross buns. So you see me next week and I look a little heavier because my weight always comes on whatever I eat 2 weeks before, you see it 2 weeks after. So next week it'll hit me and you're like, oh, honey's a little,
All right.
you know, fluffier. Yes.
That's what I'm blaming too. But for those of you who saw, my hot cross buns were actually fruitcake buns.
I saw that. I was like,
Yeah, it was unique.
that's another moment where you need to come back home for a bit.
You know what? I'm thinking it's not
Jamal has these moments where I'm just like, Jamal, what's going on?
Yeah. Save me, folks. Save me.
That was one of them. So fish cakes. Who made the fish cakes?
Oh, Nikki.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her credit. I'm gonna give her credit. From I want to say 2016 or 2015, the first time she made them a long time ago. She's perfected it. She's perfected.
Okay.
They were delicious. And you know what? It would be real nice of me if I actually learned how to make hot cross buns. But I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna sit here and do two things. It's two things I kind of make as a New Year's resolution every year. Two things. I'm not gonna do it. One is I'm not going to talk trash to Somerset fans. That never turns out, right? And two is I'm going to run the Bermuda Day Half Marathon. That ain't happening. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to bake some buns next year because it probably won't happen. So what I will say is I will consider the idea of making buns next year. How's that?
I'm gonna admit something, and I'm probably gonna regret admitting this.
Oh, I'm a hold
but I have never made fish cakes, and I have never made hot cross buns.
So you mean to tell me, Nick? Okay.
I have never done like I leave that to my mom, and and I cook. I love to cook. Bacon's not really my thing, but I've never tried it. My mom perfects. She does both. She does tuna cakes and she does fish cakes, and she perfects it. And it's like, you know what? It's not broken, and I'm not gonna try to fix it.
Can
I
I
leave
say
that to her? Yeah.
I think, but I can't remember. I think I've cooked fish cakes once when I was in graduate school, but I can't remember. And I know folks are like, how can he remember? It's because like I think I did, and they came out really good. But I just can't remember. I mean,
you think, and it came. Maybe that was the hope, the dream.
All right. So then we have the rude, disrespectful people in the audience saying, "No, we don't need fire trucks." No, whatever. Whatever, Sherry. You didn't tell us. We don't have any witnesses to know how hers came out. But anyway.
Yeah.
Enough of these rude people. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today as we discuss the employee-employer relationship before focusing on whether or not you all are comfortable Because as you saw, a Florida judge, former President Trump appointed judge, struck down the CDC's mask guidance yesterday for aircrafts and public transportation. So we're going to discuss that later on, maybe how it impacts Bermuda. The Daily Play is a remember when, so a bit of history. And this is a pretty cool one. This is a pretty cool one that I think a lot of Bermudians will get, even Sunshine Sherry, even Sunshine Sherry. Now I'm going to include them in that. I'm just saying.
Okay. Trivia is not my thing, but I think that the next time you come back, we need to have like a trivia games night just to give me a little practice,
Well, it's on. It's on. We're playing for points, money. What are we paying for?
I'm good for money.
Oh, I'm not. I'm hoping you say no. I can't afford
for money.
I can't. No, folks, we got to get right to the question.
You know what? For this weekend, I went to Maddox and I into Supercross. Went to a Supercross party, and I won the pot.
Oh, so you have a winning thing about you when it comes to.
I never won anything, but this weekend I was so excited. They were like, "Who you think's gonna get the whole shot? Whole shot? You know what whole shot is?"
Yes, the person who comes out of the gates and first corner.
I chose Sexton. For those people that watch Supercross, I chose Sexton, and he got the whole shot, and I won the pot.
Yeah. So
watch out, Jamal.
If
there's something at stake, I'm a win.
Yeah, she probably had a losing career up until now, and now I'm here, and she's gonna start winning. I'm not betting against her. That's just how it works. But let's get into the question. Look, folks. For those who are not aware, so I just have it up on the iPad here. A Kentucky man has been awarded $450,000 after his company threw him a surprise birthday party, despite his warnings that it would trigger stress and anxiety. All right, so here's the story. Plaintiff Kevin Burling, he claimed, right, that the unwanted 2019 birthday party at Gravity Diagnostics, which was his employer, caused him a series of panic attacks. Mr. Burling's lawsuit alleged that the company discriminated against him based on a disability. The company denied any wrongdoing, still denies any wrongdoing, but according to the lawsuit filed in Kentucky's Kenton County, Mr. Burling, who suffers from anxiety disorders, has asked management, right? He asked his manager to not celebrate his birthday at work, and normally does it for employees and so on. He said it could possibly result in him having a panic attack. Well, folks, his manager forgot, and his manager forgot. I'm putting that in air quotes, right? The lawsuit, folks, if you haven't read this story, notes that Mr. Burling was confronted and criticized at a meeting the following day, where he was accused of wait for it, folks. If nothing else, listen to this part. He was accused of stealing joy, right? Stealing joy from his coworkers, but also of being a little girl. The tense meeting prompted a second panic attack, after which the company sent him home for the remainder of August 8th and August 9th of 2019. Folks, after today's trial, I'll just end it on this. After today's trial, at the end of March, the jury awarded him $450,000, including $300,000 for emotional distress and $150,000 in lost wages. And this begs the question, folks, what are some necessary boundaries that should be set between employees and employers? Sancha, I know you're chomping at the bit. Go ahead.
Jamal. Okay, first of all, if that man said that he has a condition and did not want to celebrate his birthday, it should have been respected. And how big is this company that we forgot? And I mean, that speaks volumes for the level of respect that we actually have they actually have for their employees. Because how do you forget that he doesn't want to? I mean, it made it easier for them that he does not want a birthday. Leave the man alone. Now, we're talking about anxiety attacks, and I feel as if people take mental health issues lightly. And we have to start respecting that, people have boundaries and mental health issues are real. And if he says that it's going to trigger an anxiety attack, we have to respect that. Like, I keep saying this, there's so much going on in the world, and who we were as a person. I know who I was as a person 2 years ago. I'm not that person now. And yeah, there are little things that I'm, it bothers me, like, oh, has me on edge. And that's something that we're all working through, whether we want to admit it or not. And that man had a real condition.
Yeah.
I think he deserves all of what he got.
I'm surprised he didn't ask for more, and I agree with you, Sanch. I think it's interesting because I don't think we consider boundaries. I don't think we consider boundaries when we think we're doing something nice for someone. We don't consider boundaries, and
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, let's take it to a personal standpoint, right? Actually, I can't use that example; it's still fresh. But I was going to use Will Smith and Jada about the birthday but I'm not going to use that. That's that because that will go somewhere else. But
All right.
let's just say a couple, for instance, the husband wants to throw a surprise birthday party for his wife's 40th or 50th, right? And she's saying, really, I don't want a party because maybe she's having challenges with feeling old, right? And she doesn't want to celebrate that. Well, he still goes on to have this surprise party, thinking that, oh, she's going to enjoy it. She'll find a way. That's almost at this point. Now, 10 years ago, we would just say she's ungrateful. Oh, she should get over it. No, it's so delicate, right?
It is.
It's
It
so
is.
delicate because at the end of the day, like people's mental state needs to be taken into consideration. And for a profession, like a profession, a job, not to respect that, I'm
Mhm.
actually shocked that there's not even more consequences for an employer.
Yeah. And it's funny because my mom's like that. My mom is like, leave me alone. On my birthday, let me go in my hole, leave me alone. And I am the total opposite. Like, I'm like, it's your birthday. Maddox and I will turn up for any birthday. And growing up, I had to learn to respect that it's nothing wrong. That's just how she chooses to spend her time. Like, it's her day. That's how and you have to respect it. So, I mean, that like I said, there's so many mental health issues. I mean, you look, and especially in men, as I said before, for them to say, stop being a little girl,
Yeah.
we need to acknowledge that men are not, like, you don't always have to be strong. You
Mhm.
don't always have to be this macho character. It's okay to cry. It's okay to actually speak on how you feel. It's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the amount of men, and I posted this on my WhatsApp status the other day. We have Kanye, we have Will Smith.
Mhm.
Like, these men are hurting.
Mhm.
Emotionally, they are hurting and they need support. And what do? We turn around and we laugh at them.
Yep.
We make a joke of it. We act like, oh, look at that. No, they need help and they need our support. They don't need us to bash them
Yeah.
anymore.
And
You
social
know?
media has made it so easy for us just to bash and meme the, out of them. I
Soon as something happens, there's the biggest meme,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, and imagine that's like another layer added
Yeah.
that, they were publicly emotional and
Mhm.
now they have a meme that's going to be around forever,
Mhm.
making a joke of their emotions.
But I
And this
think,
is why they don't speak up.
yeah, honestly, I've become a reader of energy, right?
Hmm.
I've become much better over the last couple years trying to read people's energy. Now, does that mean I'm perfect at it? No, and none of us is going to be because everyone reacts differently to everything. We're individuals, right? And we go through different things that lead us to places where we are in life. But I've tried to read people's energy in terms of how they communicate today versus yesterday, or versus this week versus last week,
Yeah.
because that tells you that you probably can't even treat someone the same. But question of the morning, folks, what are some necessary boundaries that should be set between employees and employers? I'll tell you one, and I'm very direct about this. I am, that meme was going around recently on Twitter where it says red flag and this and that red flag or whatever. Well, here's a red flag for me. Whenever an employer tells me that we're like family, it's a red flag for me. And I say this as no disrespect to any employer I've worked with for or anyone who works with me. But the truth is we're not family. We're
Hmm.
not family. You go home to your family if you do have one, right? But we're a team, we're colleagues, we can accomplish a lot together. But for me, there are boundaries because there are things that I would do with my family that I won't necessarily feel comfortable doing with people I work with. So for me, a necessary boundary is knowing the difference and respecting the difference between what I consider family versus who I consider a teammate. I always use this example, and he probably is tired of it, but I'll use Teo Dill as an example. Teo was one of the, I mean, you talk about if we were wrestlers, we would have been a great tag team. I mean, tag team champions, right? We worked so well together, but we were so different. And anyone who knows both of us knows we were so different. Teo would be reading a book in the corner, and I would be at a bar drinking. That's how different like, we didn't hang out. But when we worked together, like the synergy, the alignment, everything was there. But to me, that's the example that I use for boundaries. Like we knew what we had to do, our roles and getting things done, and we were excellent at doing it together. But boundaries that were set, we knew that, hey, we went separate ways out, and that's okay. That's okay. But I definitely believe that we need to set boundaries. We need to respect boundaries. We need to understand boundaries when it comes to the employee-employer relationship. And I'm not quite sure we do, because going back to the comment that you reiterated, Sancha, I mean, saying that this person, Mr. Burling, who won the lawsuit, was stealing the joy from his workers, and wait for it. Again, as you stated, being a little girl. First off, one thing I never understand is why are men who show emotions always referred to as either a woman or a woman's object? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
women are probably the strongest when it comes to mental and emotional strength than men, you know?
And that's true. I'm glad you admitted it because it's true. I mean, the things that women deal with, I know me, family, work, kids, I'm juggling all these balls, and then you're going to turn around and tell him he's being a woman?
Mm.
Stop it.
No, for real.
Yeah.
For real.
But I mean, being an employer, like obviously I have loads of employees, and it's you learn as you go. I am not the same employer that I am now than I was 10 years ago. And you have, like I said, you have to respect the way people feel. Now, in all honesty, I'm confused as to why they even asked him if he wanted a party. Like, how did that? Because that doesn't generally happen. We're gonna have a party for you. Are you okay with it? So, yeah, that was a little weird. But I mean, has that ever happened to you at work?
I know when I was with the Florida Panthers, they did this big thing, for me. But we had so many birthdays close together, which surprised me. Like, why celebrate mine? And then when I was with Hut many years ago, I know everyone surprised me with my mom, and
But nobody ever like really asks. We're gonna have
right.
something in, like, nobody asks. They just bring out the cake, happy birthday. I think that they needed to make it more about, maybe they should have had like staff appreciation day, or because if you're talking about you're stealing the joy of your staff, of other, staff members, it's not their joyful day. Have something for them.
Yeah. It seemed more about the company than it did them. And if
Yeah,
that's the case,
yeah,
have a company luncheon. Don't use somebody's
yeah.
birthday to do it.
They
Let's go to the
they
audience.
used his birthday as an opportunity.
Exactly. Shikarena says, I love the lawsuit. Glad he won. Similar to this return to office mess we're in now. Extrovert managers wanting everyone to be having fun together in the office. It is annoying. That's actually a
That's a very good point.
good example with that, Shika. And I'd love to talk about that more. Karen Simmons says, disrespect and discrimination by the employer. There was no boundary. It was his birthday and expressed his wishes. Wonderful that he won the lawsuit. Interesting. James Birch for you, Stench.
The strength of someone with an anxiety disorder heading into a toxic workplace every day is something to be respected. And yeah, definitely. And like I keep saying, especially where we are today, you look at the comment that was just made, us going back into work, and what does that look like?
Yeah.
What are your boundaries? The first I was asking, I'm like, so what's the mask policy? We're all in different spaces, and it can cause anxiety for lots of people.
Yeah.
So
Times change, people evolve, we grow. what was the quote yesterday for the daily play? Um, Sherry, help me out. Something about, and Muhammad Ali said it. A man who is the same place he was 50 years ago, 20 years later, something to that effect. But the point of it is, we're not the same people, and I think you said it earlier that we were 2 years ago, just
We're
even
not.
10 years ago. And I think if we're not the same people, then times change. We
Yeah.
cannot disrespect people's boundaries. We can't act like people's feelings don't matter. If someone doesn't want something because of a disability, then we have to
You have to
respect it. Now,
respect it.
I know people are saying, "Oh, everyone and anyone can have a disability," and that's okay.
You have to respect
Okay,
it.
who are
Because
we?
that disability is that person's struggle. That's what they live
Exactly.
with every day, whether you can see it or not,
I
you
guess
know?
the line though, Sancha, is where is that line to say an employer must respect this line? Because I think for so long, employers have been like, well, you need us, we don't need you. If that makes sense.
And things have definitely shifted.
Indeed.
And I think that, employees have stepped up to the table and it has to be a level playing field. It has to be beneficial on both ends.
Mhm.
And, employers need to understand that you're not doing anyone a favor by
Mhm.
employing them. And at the same time, together, you're working together for a common goal to create a good space
Mhm.
and a great experience. So, I mean, this is somewhere that you spend the majority of your
Yep.
time, right? So you have to be happy. And I know with me, I think about that a lot
Mhm.
with my staff. It's like, okay, how do we keep this a toxic free, great energy environment? How do we do that? And I mean, it's the simple things like using your manners and how
Right.
you ask things and how you present things, maybe suggesting instead of telling. There's so many things and so many ways that you can actually make someone's day better
Mhm.
within the workplace, and we have to start working on that.
Indeed, I agree. Let's go through a few more comments before we bring Leanna in. Faith DeRosa Gilk says he didn't ask. He knew they did this and requested that they do not do it for him. Adeline Stevenson Swans says, I agree that mental health is being taken for granted. We need more awareness about it. Sam Cat
We
Place says
do.
anxiety versus no anxiety. Respect is respect. It's just that simple. David Michael R. Wilson says, not sure if it was mentioned that the individual was later fired. Not that it's relevant. His wishes should have been honored and no party given. Well, let's talk about that because on August 11th, Gravity Diagnostics fired him, citing concerns about workplace safety. His lawsuit allegedly says that the company discriminated against him because of his disability and unfairly retaliated against him for asking that his request be accommodated. So this is all according to BBC.com. Nicole Walker says not calling employees about work when they're out sick or on vacation, giving out employee personal phone numbers to clients without consent. Now, this is abuse. This is straight abuse. At the end of the day, if an employee is sick or on vacation, do not contact them unless it's an emergency where the company can literally basically go belly up that day or life and death. No, that's a boundary that needs to be set. I agree.
Yeah. I-
I,
I'm stuck on the giving out phone numbers.
oh yeah. Oh no. No. No.
Yeah, no. Who
No.
were we doing this?
Well, watch when I tell Leanna I gave her no. Oh, let's bring Leanna in and see what she's got to say because um good morning, Lee. You heard Sancha talking about she gave your number to somebody.
You wouldn't dare. Good morning, guys. Morning. I love this conversation actually. This is I was
This is
actually
one
having
you can get in on.
yes, yeah, and you know why? Cuz before the Christmas holiday, we, Goslins was quite busy going about, everybody needs their libations during the holiday, right? And it gets quite hectic for us. But I remember sitting at front yard with one of my friends, and we was having a conversation, and my phone kept ringing for work, and one of my friends looked at me and was like, "It is after 5. You are knocked off." And it was at that point I said, "How do you do that?" And he said, "I set boundaries." When it comes to my employer and being an employee, I have set clear boundaries that if it is after work hours, or, this is not something like Jamal just said, the place is not burning down and people can't function without you. It's important. And I feel as if our generation has made that more clear or more apparent than any other generation before us, that we
Yeah.
will not stand for things that are not working within our favor and do not present a good, healthy mental health state for us.
Yeah. I also think that it's for the employer to fill that out, right? So
Yeah.
you have to feel out the person that you're dealing with. I know with me, I work, I do buy-in for Luso Boutique CC English Bookshop, right? And because I'm there as a consultant, it's the total opposite for me. It's like, listen, if I'm not in, please call me. Please, like I will do a 12 a.m. buy, or but that was stated
Right.
at the
Up
beginning,
front, right?
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to feel out who your employee, because don't do that with another employee just because I said that this is how I'm willing to work, right? What
Yeah.
works for one doesn't work for all. And
Exactly.
that's where open conversation and, totally understanding who you're dealing with and getting to know, yes, we're not family, but let me get to know you because we are spending the majority of our day together and I want to respect you and understand the type of person you are.
Yeah.
So
Oh, folks, I respect boundaries. So if you
Do you, Mal? No, I'm just kidding.
Now, don't message us at 8,
Yep. Don't get it
folks,
twisted, public.
I do my best. I do my best. But sometimes I just want, hey guys, hey, can you do me this favor by tonight, please? Yeah, trust me, I'm talking about yesterday. But real quickly, just want to send a big belated birthday shout out to Tamra. She hasn't been on the show lately, but our movement moment, our resident wellness lady, she had a birthday yesterday. So happy belated to Tamra Richardson. And
Happy birthday.
Happy belated.
I love some
Tam.
Tammy.
we're not gonna sing because that they're gonna drown me out and you're not gonna hear the quality of my voice, But
It's doing you a favor, Tam.
how they do me. So get audience, please give Tamara a big happy birthday shout out. My mother-in-law's birthday is today as well, so she is having a big birthday. I'm trying to make her birthday lunch, but I've got meetings all day. So happy birthday to my mother-in-law. She is
Aries are some special people, right? Like
special is a great word
Aries
to
baby.
use.
Special.
Just kidding.
We're some amazing people.
I didn't realize it was so many of you out
right?
there. Oh my God, this month has been riddled with birthdays.
Spring babies.
There's a lot of them, Lee. Yeah. Let's get to that news break before we get in trouble. Over to you, Lee.
Thanks, Jamal and Sancha, and good morning to everyone that's tuned in with us today. I hope everyone is having a great start to their day. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. In today's top stories, police have officially named its fourth road fatality victim as 29-year-old Jason Lee. Police say Mr. Lee was injured when the motorcycle he was riding collided with a truck and a wall on North Shore Road in Hamilton Parish near Radnor Road around 3:30 p.m. last Tuesday. Now, the 29-year-old was transported via ambulance to hospital where, while receiving treatment for what was determined to be life-threatening injuries, Mr. Lee succumbed to those injuries in the intensive care unit later Tuesday evening. The Bermuda Police Service extended their sincerest condolences to his family and friends and say that a family liaison officer continues to provide support to loved ones of the victim at this difficult time. Constable Tavares Douglas is currently investigating the circumstances of this fatal collision, and members of the public with any relevant information are once again asked to call 211 or the main police telephone number on 295-0011. In other news, Commissioner of Police Darren Simons has thanked the public as there were no major incidents reported at any of the events held over the Easter holiday weekend. He also thanked the various community clubs and sports clubs which organized these very well attended social gatherings, he says, and worked with the Bermuda Police Service. Meanwhile, the island's annual peppercorn ceremony has been rescheduled this year after Governor Raina Legley is forced to separate from others due to a close contact who had tested positive for COVID. Now, the news emerged on Saturday that the governor will continue to work remotely for 7 days until test results clear her. As a result, she is not able to attend the traditional peppercorn ceremony, which was scheduled for today. And it was medals all around on the final day of the Carifta Games for our star athletes as Bermuda's relay teams made a spectacular showing in Jamaica last evening, claiming 2 medals in the 4x400 relays, with the under 17 team claiming a silver medal, while the under 20 team won a bronze medal. Now, additionally, 5 other athletes competed in individual finals on the final day of the holiday weekend, which saw the largest turnout. We are sending a huge shout out and congratulations to our Carifta athletes for their exceptional performances at the Carifta Games. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 75 and a low near 67 degrees. Today, we'll see occasional sunny breaks with clouds thickening at times, though it will be mainly dry throughout the day. Now, after a fair and breezy day today, conditions deteriorate tonight into Wednesday as a slow-moving cold front spreads rain, showers, and possible mist around the island. We will remain unsettled through Thursday, then improve towards Friday as high pressure builds to our north. That's all for our daily hour news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sancha in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Alrighty, thanks so much for that, Lee. Since you got a days of the year for us today, what is happening?
I do. Today, April 9th, is Poetry and the... Sorry, 19th. 19th, guys, sorry. Is Poetry and the Creative Mind Day. Creative minds have led the way throughout all of history's innovations and growth. Through poetry and art, they challenge the idea of what's possible and shine a spotlight on the society that birthed them. Poetry and the Creative Mind Day is set aside to honor the bright and glittering jewels that are the minds of these creative pioneers. Most of us are introduced to poetry and art at early age, whether it's in nursery rhymes sung by our parents or a combination of poetry and art in books like Dr. Seuss. Poetry and Creative Mind Day is a great time to dig up some of your favorite old poems and read them, or sing a favorite old nursery rhyme. If your talents lean more towards physical mediums, you can take your pencils, paints, and any other form you enjoy and work on that today, Jamal.
So Sancha, as you was, oh my gosh, as you was reading that, Jamal was in there, I think, concocting a poem for us.
I did. You want to hear it?
Yes.
All right. Roses are red, violets are blue. Jamal Hartman is taller than Liana and you.
Jamal, you just knocked yourself corny.
No words. Absolutely no words. What? Where's Nikki? Oh my God.
Enjoy my...
Liana, do you have a favorite nursery rhyme?
I can't think of one off the top of my head right now.
I asked my son this morning if he had a favorite one, and he just looked at me like, why? It's like, okay.
I don't remember many nursery rhymes.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of one. I can't.
Itsy Bitsy Spider, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. There's so many of them.
I don't have children.
See, I was just about to say.
It's not Maddox. See?
Yeah, exactly.
Mind you, Maddox was never, he skipped the nursery rhyme phase. Like one of the comments when he was probably about 4 was, he's not great with nursery rhymes. And it was like Maddox went straight to Maroon 5 songs and Bruno Mars. He was like,
I was into Luther back in the early 80s. You know what I'm saying? I was into Luther. And
yeah.
I was singing Luther and Lionel Richie. I weren't singing nursery rhymes.
Maddox was over here studying Bruno Mars and had no time for the nursery rhymes. So
No, he skipped that phase.
yeah.
Probably.
Generation.
I'm gonna let you go and learn how to laugh at funny jokes for tomorrow. And yeah,
that's what that was. Okay, noted.
I think the audience they're laughing. I mean, they even my biggest,
hour.
Even my biggest haters out there, they
Sherry, you find that funny?
Did you? You couldn't have.
Sherry, did you not see Sherry's comment?
I think it was more or less like sarcasm somewhere thrown in there.
She could be everybody they don't know it's
funny.
Wow. Okay.
See you tomorrow, Leicester.
I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna help you work on that humor too.
Whatever. Stand up coming up, folks. Leanna Lambert, folks. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to discuss the mandate. Are you comfortable getting on an airplane without a mask? Growing up, Sancha, I remember seeing people from certain parts of the world always have a mask on the airplane. And I always thought, why do they have a mask on? They were onto something. And when we come back, we'll probably discuss what they were onto. Yeah. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors. And not to mention the support stockings.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
This month, John Barrett & Son bring us a premium thirst quencher from North Carolina, the Blue Ultra Purified Water. Many other bottled waters use reverse osmosis to reach an acceptable level of purity. Le Bleu uses a 5-step purification process, which includes fractional vapor compression, distillation, and ozonation, assuring purity and a unique, appealing flavor. Consumer testimony repeatedly praises the taste of Le Bleu compared to the other brands, and this, along with superior purity, makes Le Bleu a must-try. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All righty, welcome back to the big show. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. So, folks, we have another thing to focus on. So just put the question out there. How do you feel about going maskless on airplanes? So the CDC, with their Center for Disease and Control or something like whatever it stands for in the U.S., mandate for travelers is no longer in effect following a judge's ruling, officials say. So basically, a federal judge appointed by former President Trump struck down on Monday the Biden administration's mask mandate for airplanes and other public transport methods. And the Biden administration says the order is no longer in effect while the ruling is reviewed. Basically, the judge said the government is too involved in this. What are your thoughts? How do you all feel? Like, just think of an airplane. An airplane, for me, I'm no expert, but an airplane always seemed like one of the germiest places to be. Like, you're stuck in this enclosed area with strangers, inhaling, exhaling the same air for about a greater number, like a certain length of time. But what are your thoughts? Like, just seeing how many Bermudians, and again, I live in lawless Florida, but I know Bermudians take this very seriously for the most part in terms of people wearing masks on sidewalks. I don't know if it's still the norm, but you all are special with that. But and I'm not saying that to be funny. You're special, meaning like you're taking all precautions necessary. But how do you feel about this? Like, is this something you believe can help Bermuda get more tourists? Or do you feel like, no, we should be safety first? Do you feel like this is a mistake because we still haven't fully come out of the pandemic? How do you feel about going maskless on airplanes? What are your thoughts, Sanjay? You look ready.
I feel I feel as if we cannot come to a happy medium at this point of it's like an all or nothing. It's like either COVID is here or it's over. There's no medium ground of we're still working our way through this, so let's be precautious, right? And I don't know. I'm supposed to travel this week, and of course, I will be wearing a mask. My son will be with me. He will be wearing a mask. And I get that we've gotten to a space where people have to make their own decisions based on their comfort levels. But I personally feel that we're going to get to a point where all of these things are reeled back. Like we're going to be like rewinding, like, you know what I mean? There's so many places now that they're reintroducing mask mandates because they see that their numbers are skyrocketing, you know, another variant, more transmissible. And there are going to continue to be variants. I mean, you look at the rate of vaccinations, whether you believe in it or not, we're trying to get to a certain number, which the world hasn't gotten to yet. And we're just not out of the woods where it pertains to COVID.
Well, I think, you know, and I think one of the cities that has brought back masks, Philadelphia, for instance, and there's lawsuits down there. But what about, you know, just devil's advocate, what about, are we not to a point where we can trust human beings to do what's necessary without the rule of law? Like, you know, if you know you're feeling a bit sick or, you know, you're going into a space, wear a mask where you don't have to be mandated, or can we not trust human beings to do the responsible thing?
Do you know how many people I know that I'm not feeling good today, but I don't want to call in sick? I mean, there's so many variables. You know, you don't want to call in sick because you have this boss that doesn't trust that you're calling in sick because you're actually sick, and your workplace doesn't respect the fact of I'm not feeling well. You know what I mean? Like there are so many reasons. I mean, I know of a woman went to work and she didn't have COVID, but she's sneezing, she's coughing. She's like, you know, I just didn't want people to believe that I wasn't sick. Ma'am, you're sick, whether it's COVID or not. Go home. Please go home. We don't want that, whatever it is. And she's a person that chooses not to wear a mask.
But wouldn't that come to, I mean, and I'm only saying because I remember back in the day, people would go to work and not take the sick day because they feared their job letting them go, or they don't have a doctor's note or something like that. Like,
this is where we need to look, like employers need to look at, and there has to be some sort of restructure to, you know, kind of deal with what's going on today in the times that we're living in today, not 10 or 20 years ago, you know, and most companies should be looking to restructure their business model and, you know, how they handle their employees. And I think that as employees as well, you can't, you know, tear it, you know, like I've been out for this long because I have a sniffle. Like, come on. It has to be a balance, but you can't trust that there is going to be that balance.
Indeed. How do you feel about basically going maskless on planes, folks? As you saw yesterday, a federal judge struck down the CDC mandate to wear masks on airplanes or public transportation. So they're no longer required, but people can still wear them by choice. Go ahead.
But I think on the BA flight, mark me if I'm correct, because you don't have to wear a mask in the UK. So when you're coming back to Bermuda, I think on the BA flight, you don't have to wear a mask. And I think when you get to a certain point, you have to put your mask on or something like that. Correct me if anyone knows. But, and it's like, now we're talking about flying. So different territories have different rules. At what point are you in the air where the pilot comes on like, you need to put on your mask? Like, how does that work?
It's the strangest, most backward, confusing. Yeah.
Yeah. You're in Bermuda territory now.
She says, I will still wear mine, too close for comfort. Michelle White, she says, since when does a judge be able to advise in medical matters? Being confined in a small space should have mask mandate continued for cautious sake. And yes, mask if the sidewalk is busy. Gotcha. Okay.
You know what another thing, on flights now, so when COVID first started, it was easy to fly and it was more comfortable because they were like skipping seats and all of that
Mhm.
is gone. We're doing full planes now. So now we're saying we're doing full planes, no mask.
Mm.
Uh, I'm not comfortable.
Well, here's an interesting point by Shikarana. She says, even when there was a mask requirement on planes, we still took them off to eat and drink. So it was always a partial mask situation. Dropping the mandate won't stop folks from wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And,
I
and
remember I wore my mask even before COVID was here, right?
Mhm.
I heard about it. I want to say I took a flight probably January of that year. And I
Mhm.
was like, I am masking up. And everybody was looking at me like, what is she doing? But you were right. Like years, like in the Asian community,
Yep.
they have been masked
Mhm.
because, they get it. They understood it. So, yeah.
And again, it was frowned upon, like, oh, why are they wearing masks? And again, they for the most part get it, like they understood it. I think what's fascinating to me is, as a person who has, fought for what was deemed human rights or freedom, how people have felt like being told to wear a mask is, you know, interfering with their freedoms. And it's interesting. I think one of the most interesting things for me throughout the pandemic is really understanding what people fight for. like, hold on, this has
Yeah.
been happening for years, and you've said not a word, but this is the fight you're gonna take up. Okay.
And I honestly feel that people that are anti-maskers and anti-vaxxers, and they're so much louder
Mhm.
than everyone else. And which is why their voice is heard. And a lot of us, we just say, you know what, we're going on with our day. We do what's best for us and our family. And, we're not heard as much. I mean, I had an incident, at Maddox's school where one of the parents, she was upset that she couldn't go to school to cheer her kid on in the parade.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and at that point, Summersfield wasn't really testing. It was kind of up to you. If you wanted to test your kid, you could. If you did, and I had a moment where I was just like, "Ma'am, are we this is what you want to fight over? Is this what we want to really?" I'm like, "You are not understanding what's going on in other people's households. They have grandparents that are sick. And you are upset because you can't." I was like, "Watch it on your computer, you'll be okay." And I know she was probably like, "Oh my God," but I had to. I had enough.
Yeah,
These kids are suffering as well. Let's choose what's important in this moment and what we're going to fight for in this moment. And let's
yeah.
think about, just humanity on a whole. Let's think about what's best. Let's not be self-centered. Yes, you're healthy, I'm healthy, but person next to us,
They may
they
not.
catch it and it's over, you
Maybe.
know?
Yeah. And I think you said something, and I think when we take on these fights, civil and human rights fights, I think what we need to understand is the human element in all of it. And I think so often we forget about that. Michelle White says everyone must play their part. Employees must be trustworthy employees. Employers should also create an environment that also supports good health. Sam Cat Play says there are some who can't wait to be a rebel. So you just can't trust them to make good decisions,
Yeah.
especially those who are just germy and don't care about hygiene. Planes are dirty, so I'll wear mine. Thanks. So Sam Cat Place, she will be wearing her mask.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And that's true. Like this idea where like I get to be a rebel. I'm so tough. It's just like, come on, this is not the situation to be that,
Yeah, there are a
you
lot of
know?
rebels without a cause out there, folks. Don't
Yeah,
be one of them. Trust me. Yeah, essentially.
the virus had to arrive here via aircraft or sea, so I will continue to wear a mask. You catch most germs in an aircraft, and most enclosed environments will spread any contamination. Wise to mask up.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I've supported people and their right to fight for what they believe. I just believe that if you believe in your cause, if you
Mhm.
have valid points and perspectives, you keep going. You keep going. It doesn't matter how many people agree with you. The challenge is when your fight or cause has the potential to harm others, that's where it gets a bit sticky for me. When
Yeah,
if it
exactly.
has the potential to harm other people, innocent people, I'm just a bit challenged with that, and so I
Yeah.
can only go based on what I know about something, and sometimes that's what's reported, sometimes it's what I read. My personal position is I will wear a mask in an enclosed space to protect not just myself, but the people that I'm around often that may be, elderly or, more
Hmm.
vulnerable to certain things. So that's why I would
Yeah.
wear it. It's not about necessarily me, but it's about loved ones and people around me. So that's why
Yeah.
I would do.
I think, granted, we're all exhausted with this whole COVID thing. We're tired. We're tired. We wish life could just go back to normal. And unfortunately, I mean, we don't people don't talk about it as much. You even look at numbers when people are dying. I was looking the other day, they give the COVID numbers. They're like, so there are 5 people in hospital, nobody in intensive care. And then all of a sudden it's like 2 new COVID deaths. It's like, well,
Yeah.
wait, how did we go from hospital, no intensive care to and we're not even shocked or surprised, when someone's passing. It's just we send our condolences and that's it, you
Yeah.
know? And we
It's
move
weird.
on with our day.
In the beginning, when it was like such shock, it was such, it's almost like
Yeah,
when, it's weird how times change where we just it becomes a normal part of our everyday life that we don't show
yeah,
that kind of reaction. Yeah,
and it's
it's
sad, and we don't even know who these people are, right? It's just
right.
like, I who are your families? Who are people are still dealing with this, and I think based on what you've had to deal with during these 2 years is how you kind of react to it. And if you know someone that you've lost from it, you're going to be more prone to putting on a mask and protecting yourself. If you're someone, I had someone ask before, you do you know anybody that actually died from this? It's like, uh, actually, yes. You may not, but I actually do. A few people. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's exhausting, but folks, let's not forget there are lives that have been lost due to this deadly disease. Carlton Fleming says, "I wear a mask and I still work from home. The risk is not worth it." All right, quick yes or no to wrap it up. Yes or no? Will you be wearing a mask on an aircraft if you are traveling soon? Will you be wearing a mask? Yes or no? Sandra, your answer simply yes, right?
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Definitely.
again, I'm in the same boat again, and it's not about me. It's not about me, the individual, but yes, I will be wearing a mask for those around me that may be vulnerable. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm at with it. And this is not me telling anyone that I'm very cautious. This is not me giving advice. I'm not a professional, no expert. I'm simply saying what I'm gonna do based on what I know. That's in the best interest of the people I love.
But even with that, I mean, since the mask mandate has been dropped, I still do not see a whole lot of people just not wearing masks. Like if it's a run in here, run in there. But for the most part, I still see people every day wearing the mask. And like you say, on the sidewalk, on like every people are still masked up.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think it's a general consensus that people feel safer wearing a mask.
Yeah, I think you're right. Nicole Walker, yes. Sheik Arena, yes. Karen Simmons, yes. NTS, yes. Carlton Fleming, yes. Nikki Hartman, absolutely. I would have no choice. Lauren Darrell, yes. Takia Tucker, yes. Rachel Couture, yes. Michelle White, yeah. We have no no's, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Linda Tucker, yes. Sherry Vanderpool, yes. Yeah, make sure you have your mask when you come in the studio tomorrow, Sherry. Renee Simmons, yes. Oh, we've got a nope. Hadley and Stevenson Swoon says nope. First nope. And Nikki Ahmed says, I may not need to test to go away, but I still need to test to come home. Interesting. But again, for me, I don't think I just think we all need to do what's in the best interest of ourselves, our loved
Yeah.
ones, our community. There's no right or wrong answer to this, but I just want humans. I want us to make better decisions, and better decisions could mean different things for different people. Let me repeat
Yeah.
that. Better decisions, what's a good decision for Sancha may be different for what may be a good decision for Jamel. I don't want you all thinking that what I say is a better decision and you should do. Nope, no, don't do that to me. Carol also says yes, and Sam Cat plays yes. So we're gonna take a quick break, wrap it up, come back, wrap it up, and we've got a daily play, folks. I think you're gonna get this daily play answer. Actually, what we're gonna do is if someone gets the answer before Sencha, the first person that comes up that gets the
That's
answer.
easy, Jamal.
I think you got this one. I think you got this one.
Okay.
All right. Stick with us. Daily play coming up. We're gonna wrap it up, and we're gonna give away one of our. Well, I don't know if they're on island. Customs probably just hasn't let them through yet, but we've got some new goodies on island. So if you get this answer, you will get one of our new goodies. Stick with us. Be right back.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
Alrighty, thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Medical House, Lindos. We appreciate you all. If you appreciated today's conversation and discussion, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share these conversations with your friends, family, around the water cooler, at work. Who knows? Somebody at your office may be the winner of a $450,000 lawsuit if those boundaries aren't respected, right? Time for the daily play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sancha, are you ready?
Okay.
All right, folks. I think it's an easy one. It's a remember when. All right, here we go.
He thinks it's an easy one.
I do. I think y'all get this.
Okay.
Clearwater Middle School opened its doors in 1997. What was the name of the school in the same location during the U.S. base years?
I don't know. Clearwater, right? So that's. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
Somebody got one of the answers, but I need the full name, folks. I need the full name. There we go.
So it was obviously on the.
Renee Simmons got it first.
I've never gotten that.
Roger B. And I'll tell you how I knew. Roger B. Chafee. So we're gonna have to give it to Karen Simmons and Renee Simmons. Actually, they're both named Simmons. Interesting. I wonder if they're related.
Give me the background on that, Jamal.
Well, I knew the answer because I played baseball on the base, right? So a lot of the kids on my team went to Roger B. Chafee. So that's how I knew the answer to this. I thought a lot of Bermudians knew because when Clearwater moved from Downson, Georgia, over to the St. David side, they knew, it was all in the news. Roger B. Chafee will now be Clearwater Middle School. So yeah, I thought I was right, Sancha.
You know I'm from Somerset, right?
Oh, right.
I'm a Somerset girl, right?
One there's people, yeah.
We're gonna have a hell of a time come cup match because I am a diehard Somerset fan.
Oh,
yep. I'm about to go and pay my dues so I can be a part of the club. All of that.
Oh, so Shara's got a teammate.
Yep.
Okay. All right. This is not going to make for good summer days, but a lot of people got it. Roger B. Chafee. I've actually very shocked.
I think I was maybe a little young for that. I honestly.
One of your Somerset people says.
I learned something new today. Thank you. Thank you. Us West people don't know that.
Yeah.
My mom's so sweet though. She messaged me.
She gave you the answer?
She did. She's like, she said, I'm giving you the answer. She says, San, we had a neighbor who went there. Who, Mom?
You know what? That's what we call, because look, honestly, I'm gonna call out Mama Patterson, Shara's mama. I'm gonna say, Mama Patterson, Don't get any ideas. Don't be sending answers. Now I know that
Listen,
Mama
Mama
Durham.
Shishi is on it, okay?
Oh,
Sheila
no,
ain't playing.
no. But Roger B. Chafee, folks, that's the answer today. So Karen Simmons, Renee Simmons, please send us an email at engage@thedailyhour.com for your goodie. Sandra, let's wrap up today's show. Final thoughts on the discussion and the focus.
Final thoughts all around, whether it's at work, whether it's wearing your mask. I just think that we all need to be respectful. I think we need to come from an angle of being a little more selfless, and understanding that everyone has their own issues and their own struggles. And you may never know what someone is dealing with, as they as put together as they are. They look like they have this amazing life, and everyone has their issues, and we need to respect it and understand those boundaries. Like I said, wearing your mask, making a comment at work, it's all about respect. So
I like how you did that. I didn't even, and I'm being honest, folks, maybe it's having a slow moment, but I didn't even realize how both topics this morning tied into one another. Literally, but boundaries. I can't add much more to what Sancha said, just boundaries. And you as an employee must have the courage to set them with your employer, and employers must have the respect to honor the boundaries that employees are setting. And as individuals, we just got to be better human beings. We have to be better human beings. And that means that sometimes it's not just about us. It's about everyone in the community. You got some daily inspiration for us, Sancha?
I do. So today is from James Baldwin. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. All right, Sanch. Well, hey, safe travels this week. Not sure where you're going.
Thank you.
I'll send you my sizes.
You know where we're going? It's so exciting.
Uh-oh.
We're going to Motocross.
We're in
Boston.
Boston.
It was in Atlanta last week, and this week I'm like, it's close to us, so we're going to Motocross. I'm excited.
I haven't been since the old Georgia Dome in like 2003 or 2. Yeah.
I've never been, so
really
this is the first for me. Yeah.
Right, you're gonna have fun. I remember those days, but have fun, enjoy, safe travel, and send us some pictures. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of the daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman, my friends. Make it a safe and great day. And Sancha still doesn't have her mug, but we're gonna be
I'll get it.